Kendall, Florida, a suburb in the southwest area of Miami with everything that you could possibly need, and that I just so happened to recently move to. I'm Angie Blanco, a realtor here in Miami, Florida with One Path Realty, and in this video we're talking all things Kendall, from parks to schools to shopping and things to do, to transit, and most importantly to real estate. We're gonna get into these 5 key points of Kendall, but before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about the Kendall borders, since they are a bit obscure, since Kendall actually isn't a proper city. It's actually an unincorporated community of Miami-Dade County. That's pretty interesting, right? Yeah, I think so too. And all this means is that there's no additional governing body, governing it, like there is in the city of Coral Gables, the city of South Miami, Pinecrest, and so on. Kendall kind of just stands alone, unincorporated, like a rebel. And I'll show you a big perk of living in an unincorporated area later in this video. So to begin, the Kendall area goes all the way east to Old Cutler Road, all the way west to Chrome Avenue, butting up against the Everglades, and then some parts north go as far as Miller Drive or 56th Street, and then all the way south to 152nd Street. This is a pretty large area, and it's just that Kendall has continuously grown and expanded over the years for multiple reasons. Let's get into 5 big reasons people keep moving to Kendall. Number 1, the cost of living here is more affordable as far as housing goes. The median home price in Kendall is only about $380,000, whereas in Miami proper, it's over $450,000. Now, this is averaging condos, townhouses, and single-family homes all together combined. So if we were just talking about condos in Kendall, then that average price point would be less, and then for single-family homes, it would be more. And obviously the same goes for home prices in Miami, depending on the type of property that it is. But all in all, the cost of living here is more affordable, and so this has naturally drawn people to the area. Number 2, transportation here is great. Now, I am not saying there is no traffic. Please don't get me wrong. We know Kendall traffic. But you do have easy access to the Florida Turnpike, to the Don Shula Expressway, and also the Palmetto. You can get around fairly easily, or if you needed to take public transportation, the Metro bus has routes all over Kendall. And this makes it really easy and practical for people to get around in Kendall and get to work wherever work is. But do take note that the farther west you live in Kendall, the more traffic you'll experience driving east in the direction of US 1 or downtown during specific hours. But also, remember that the way that the world is moving, so many people have started or are starting to work remotely from home, from their computers, so it could be that you don't even experience the traffic because you don't need to drive in it. Keep that in mind. Number 3, there are so many parks here. This is great for families with young kids, or if you're more like me and just have dogs, it's really great too. There's Kendall Indian Hammocks Park, Ron Emmon Park, Rock Ridge, Continental Park. There's just literally too many to name. They're everywhere. There's also a lot of lakes in Kendall, which is really nice because you think of Miami and you don't really think of a lake. You think of partying and nightlife and high rises, but not of a lake where you can just disconnect and stare out into and get lost. And so I love that we have lakes in Kendall. All of this green space really beautifies Kendall. It feels more spread out, more lush, more airy. I mean, you could probably do all of your forest bathing in Kendall. Okay, maybe I'm being a little biased because I live here, but seriously, the parks and the greenery really help give the community a much fresher feel and something that really isn't seen as much in more condensed areas of Miami. Number 4, this is a big one for a lot of people, and that is that there's a handful of A-rated schools in Kendall. There's Calusa Elementary, Somerset, SAS, School for Advanced Studies, Coral Reef, and this definitely draws in a lot of people looking for good options for their children's education. As we can imagine, there's even a huge Miami-Dade college campus here that's literally 185 acres. I mean,
that's immense.
Number 5, Kendall is shopping galore. There is Dadeland Mall, Town and Country, The Falls, so many shopping centers, Costco, Target. I mean, no wonder consumer debt is on the rise. Kendall's probably in the lead. Apart from shopping, there are also really fun activities that you can try, like Top Gun shooting range, there's golf courses, there's the Kendall Ice Arena, which is an ice skating rink. There's also Super Wheels, which is an inline skating rink. Gosh, I haven't been there since I was a kid. And then we're also just bordering the Miami Zoo and also the Gold Coast Railroad Museum, which is super cool. It's literally a blast from the past. I mean, there's so much history there. And number bonus, I told you I would let you know what was a perk of living in an unincorporated area, so here it is. Properties in Kendall, since it's an unincorporated area of Miami, don't have additional taxes like other properties do with governing bodies like the city of Coral Gables, the city of South Miami, city of Pinecrest, and so on. These are all areas in Miami that are very much incorporated, and nothing against that. They are stunning neighborhoods, like beautiful. But I'm just simply, stating the facts and sharing them with you. Let me give you an example. This is a breakdown of taxes for a property in the city of Coral Gables. The additional Coral Gables governing board here is charging over $2,600 of additional taxes for the services that they provide to this property within their municipality. There's also this fire service charge, which is not a big deal, but it is also additional. So adding these two numbers, the total tax amount paid for 2021 for this specific property was just under $9,200. Now, every property is going to have a different tax amount, even if they're within the same area. And this is just because taxes are calculated by that specific property's assessed value. If there are any exemptions on that property, like homestead exemption or senior exemption, and then what the tax rate is for that specific municipality that property is in. Here's an example of taxes for a property in the city of Pinecrest. Please stay in your seats. We see here that the governing board of Pinecrest is charging over $2,300 of additional taxes for their services to this property. They also provide these additional services, which are another few $100s a year. So adding these two numbers again, this property has paid just under $19,000 of taxes in 2021. I told you to stay in your seats. Now, lastly, let's take a quick look at the taxes of a property in Kendall, the unincorporated Rebel. We see here that Kendall doesn't have any additional governing board, so there are no additional fees or services apart from the standard services that Miami-Dade County provides. So for this specific property in Kendall, they have paid less than $3,200 of taxes for 2021, a fraction of the cost of living in an incorporated area. And again, I love the cities of Coral Gables, Pinecrest, South Miami. They're all really beautiful, like truly stunning. But I also love not having to shell out my hard-earned money to Uncle Sam and investing it elsewhere and having it work for me. And so I find that apart from everything else that Kendall has to offer, this is just another sweet detail and cherry on top. So now I know what you're thinking. You've watched this video in its entirety, and now you're thinking, dang, I want to move to Kendall, coño, right? That's what you're thinking, right? Ay, tú no me tienes que decir. But hold on, are you actually ready to buy? Are you actually ready? Watch this video right here where I talk about 7 highly important questions that you should ask yourself before buying a property, just to make sure that you're actually ready. Happy watching, and I will see you on the next one.